What's up? What's up? So, welcome to 808s While You Wait, Town Hall Meeting with the Mayor. I'm your host, Eugene Man Roberts, and this week we have something really special. Like I told you guys, it's going to get better and better and better every week. So this week we have what I consider a living legend. She's a walking icon, a rock star to all the rock stars, amazing bassist, vocalist, performer, entertainer, producer, and now my new homegirl, my sis. Give it up for Nik West. Yeah! Anyway, welcome. This is just what I call the catch up, see what's going on, what you got going on, and talk some cool things about life, So like we said, we just jumped on. People forgot. We just jumped on, and we were just talking about not being able to complain or complaining about.
Right. Okay.
What's going on? So what do you got going on? Because you saying complaining, not complaining. I don't want to complain. So.
Right. No, I'm not complaining. I feel extremely blessed because, I'm a musician that tours 90% of the time. So I'm always on tour. So I've always had these projects that I'm like, oh, I really want to get this done. But then I'll start it and then I never have time to finish it.
Right.
So now I was finally able to finish it. I finished my album, Moody. Right. I finished, so I started a whole bass lesson curriculum because I'm literally asked probably 10 times a day, teach me how to play.
Teach me how to play.
I don't have the time. So I finished a lot of projects and I feel very good about it. I got some stuff done that I wanted to do for a while.
That's been my theory because, of course, I travel a lot and I tour a lot for a living. And a lot of times I know my time gets cut because I'm in Philly. So if I got to go to LA and back, that's 5 hours on the plane and 5 hours back. That's 5 hours I can't talk on the phone. That's 5 hours I can't be in the studio. That's you know what I'm saying? So it's now I feel like I'm getting double the work done.
Yeah,
kinda,
exactly.
And me, I've been learning other trades. I think that's been a common thread about what's going on through the pandemic. Where people, every musician thinks they're either a chef, a contractor, or a photographer. You know what I'm saying? We just think we're everything else, So it's been cool to I've been learning some video stuff and I've kind of dialed in more on mixing and a couple of different.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So it's been cool. I like some of the outcome and some of the things I've been doing. What have you picked up? What have you been doing new or spending more time on? It may not be new, but just spending more time on it.
Architecture, construction.
That's lit.
Stuff like that. I went to school for engineering, but I've been really just kind of, for instance, some of these bass frames and stuff that I don't even know if you can see them on the wall, but I've been starting to build my own. So cutting the wood and measuring everything and just getting the right dimensions to build my own stuff. So that's what I've been doing.
And it feels good, right? To be able to
get your own right?
Yeah. That's how I felt when I first started learning how to sheetrock, and it was just this is fun, because we're just. Have you ever seen the documentary? I think it's called The Creative Mind or Creative Brain. It's on Netflix, and it talks about us as creatives or just creative people in general. So it's if you're an artist, you might enjoy cooking because it makes you think of other colors when you paint. It's this whole thing that talks about doing one creative thing that inspires another creative thing.
Oh, nice. That's something I need to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I watched it probably about a year ago. It's been out for a while, but it's really interesting and it talked about, what's her name? Khalees. It was talking about how Khalees became, when she came from being an artist to a really good chef.
Yeah, wow.
So it was that whole thought process. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I know. It's just the things that make you go, It was just
right.
It was pretty cool. So as far as your album and everything, talk about, how long ago did you start it? Because I know me, I'll start stuff and I'll pick it up and I'll come back. But like you said, this is the time of execution.
That's my life story. So 3 years ago, I started working on this album, writing the songs, and and sometimes when you're trying to get the people collaborating on it, their schedules, if they're touring, and it's hard to get everything connected. Right. So of course I would do a song, I would do a few songs, I would start them, and then I would go on tour. Right. And then I would have an idea on tour, like, oh man, and then I would record it in my phone or something. Record it on my phone and then get home and then record that. And then later on, of course, I get the musicians on it, or I get, it's every song had a different stage and a different process. Right. At different times throughout the 3 years. So there's some songs where I would do the whole song, and then like a year later, I'm just like, no, I don't like that. And I would do the whole thing over again. Do the whole thing over. So for me, yeah, it took about 3 years to complete.
Do you think redoing the whole song was an emotional state of being? As in, like, you may have recorded it with a certain emotion, and then you listen back to it, and it's like, I think I can do better. And not because it's note choices, but just maybe the inspiration or maybe the energy going into it. No? Yeah.
Well, for me, so my sister, she's a musician as well. She's just real shy, so she's a brilliant songwriter. I let her listen to the songs, and there was one particular one where she was just like, you can do better than that. Like, she was telling me,
but you know what though? You need that sometimes, because some people will let you go down a rabbit hole, letting you think that, yeah, man, it's so great, and then you just listen back like, are you really about?
What, right? Are you not listening?
I don't need you to be like, hey, everything's all right. Like, I need you to tell me this sucks. Like, be honest.
Right. She told me, she was just like, this is a beautiful song. You're singing it really well, but I know you can do better than that. Like, you need to stretch your voice. She was like, take the key that it's in, sing that on the first verse, but you need to take it up a whole step on the second verse. You can sing that high. And so I was like, really? So I had to like redo it. And I was mad at first, but it came out really, really well. So
wow.
Yeah.
So I saw online about this thing you did with Stanley Clarke and a couple of different other amazing legendary bassists, such as yourself. So how was that feeling? Because I know how it feels when I get to sit on a panel, or it's like I'm working, with, like, because I MD John Legend, right? So I've been with John. So I've been with John for 15 years, but I've been the MD for 12. So working with him, I get these crazy opportunities to work with, the Ricky Miners or the.
I know Ricky. Oh my God. Of course, I know you do.
Or
my mentor.
Exactly. I spoke to Ricky like last week we were just chopping it up for no reason.
Right.
Coming up like as a little kid from Philly, and it's just like, wow, I'm working with Ricky, or I'm working with Greg Fillinganes, or I'm working with Chili E, or I'm like, it's just like I'm at the Oscars, or I'm like Thomas Wilkins, the conductor. It's like the ball, and it's like you do all these things, and it's just like you never think, you know what I'm saying? And then like to be, and these are like superheroes, like
superheroes.
I got a chance to play with Chris Dave and Pino Palladino for like a hourly thing for John, and it's just like growing up in Philly, neo soul, D'Angelo, and it's just like you grow up listening to Chris Dave and Quest and Pino, and it's just like, okay, so I'm MD in a band, and these guys are in my band. Like, it's like one of those things.
That's crazy.
So like for you were literally on this show with these superheroes, and like, what was your thought process? Like, not taking away from the fact that you're a superhero, but I know it's like we're the type of people that like we take ourselves out of it and we look like, yo, that's really like, like talk about that whole like, ooh, that feeling.
I always have to pinch myself because I'm just like, with me, I'm not worthy. And man, when Stanley hit us up like, hey, we want to interview Nik, we want to work with Nik, I was just like, wait, who? Stanley Clarke? Like, he cares about working with me? Like, what? I'm just because I feel like I'm this baby that hasn't like fully blossomed or bloomed into what I'm supposed to be. I feel like I'm still working on trying to get there. And these people are like, you're here, welcome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I have to pinch myself all the time. But then it's one of those things. And Stanley was saying, he's just like, I mean, you're here. You're a baby legend on your own. Like, you don't have to thank me. Like, you're doing it. We're looking at you. And so for me, I just feel like I get confused a lot.
Right.
But then, you know, my mom always tells me, you know, favor ain't fair.
Yo,
favor ain't fair.
I promise you, that is a phrase that I always say, and a lot of people always be like, wow, you're right. You know, and it's always like a level of greatness, or a person with a level of greatness always will feel like I'm just getting started. No matter what you do, I feel like that's just like an internal level of greatness, because you're grateful of what you've done, but you just know you have greater things to climb to.
That you want to do, right.
Exactly. So it's like it's not that I'm ungrateful for what I've done. I just know this is the beginning, you know. And
right, exactly.
And when you move in the mentality of favor and knowing it's not fair, it's like that's when you look at the people around you and say, listen, I've known you for 15 years. We had our start together. If I go this way and I get there faster, then, you know, that's the favor on my life. That's what I have going on. I can't really argue that, you know. But it's also that level of hunger, of wanting to be better. And then, like, again, I think it's so dope that you had your sister that's like, that's whack. I think that's really cool, though. Because sometimes it's the closest people to you that's just like, that's fire. Like, I don't know what you talk about. What you talking about? What you talking about? Why would you do it over? Like, you know, that type of thing. So let's transition over to just what you've been doing. Have you found it like cooler? And I guess probably finishing up the record had a lot to do with the fact that a lot of musicians are at home right now. You can kind of get their parts from them. So have you been collaborating with a lot of different people?
Yeah, so actually, well, to be honest, a lot of it was done pre-COVID.
Okay, dope.
A lot of it was done pre-COVID because, right around, we released it in April. So, and then the whole COVID thing happened, and the album was released at that time because we had a whole tour that was dependent on the album release. So when you're overseas in Europe and Asia and other places, they like to have a full album and then a tour. So they still do it the traditional way. Where here it's like, okay, you can, you know, just have a single and do that.
Yeah. And then you
right. So we had a lot of that stuff done. Yeah, it's like, oh my, right, exactly. So we had a lot of it done, but a lot of the promotion and everything, photo shoots, everything, but we just like stopped it. We're like, man, like the tour stopped, everything stopped. So now we have to use this particular album because that's what the venues and the festivals want to promote for next year. But I'm just like, I'm going to do another album by then. All this time I got, I'm going to do something else. So I've been working with different musicians just on different projects, not trying to be like real specific about, I'm going to do an album. It's just like, hey, I got this bass line, put something to it, you know? And then it'll become a thing at some point. So I just been open about everything right now.
I think that's pretty cool too when people are utilizing their time, and like you know, not traveling, like I said earlier, like allows you to realize like I actually have time. Like, you know, it's so used to like I'm so used to feeling like oh my god, I gotta hurry up and save this, close my laptop, I gotta get my hard drive, all right, I gotta go. Flights in 2 hours, like, you know. But that I kind of miss traveling. I kind of don't, but I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I'm like in between, you know. The last couple of years I've been getting into going out.
I definitely do.
Like going out to see different like sites and take photos, and like I've been kind of more in that phase of life, and then COVID hit. Because I didn't do it before. It was just like you do the gig, you go to the hotel, you order room service, you go to sleep. Like that was the thing. Hey, that's what I was doing.
No.
That's what I did.
You know what? Yeah. I guess I was kind of Yeah, I guess I was kind of doing that in the beginning, but then when I started having then when I start having the band do, because sometimes we would go to these same cities like the following year.
Well, yeah,
So
then
I would have the
kind of
agent,
change it up.
Yes, I would have the agent say, okay, we're gonna do 3 shows on, or 4 shows on, 3 shows off, or we're gonna do every other. We'll do a show, then we want a day off. And then that day off in that same city, everybody was able to go see stuff. So before it was just kind of like show, get on a plane, show. But now I've just kind of said, okay, let me back it up. Let's live while we're working too. Like, let's be.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to do something else.
I think that's been like a more modern thing, being able to try to get those days off in between. Because before it used to be like, no, we need to make the best.
We need the money, so we going.
We doing a show every day. We doing a clinic the days off. We going to travel. We leaving right after the show, so we don't got to pay for the hotels an extra day. It's like, it's just different things that all come together, like, But being able to have that control and saying, like, you know what? No, we're going to travel the day before, have the day off, But that didn't kind of really exist. It depends, And I played with a couple rappers, and rappers, they think different. They want to do as many shows as they can in the shortest amount of time, and it's just like, you have to be tired. I'm tired, and then it's like that whole theory. But like I said, just. Not that I didn't really care about like seeing the world. It just wasn't the thing. It was just like, you had your bandmates, everybody hanging out at the hotel bar, and then next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. And you want to go to sleep. Yes. It's just that thing. But like you said, when you start coming back to those cities time and time again, you start realizing, okay, it's more to do in London than going to Nando's and going back to your room. Like it's more to it than that.
Right. Let me go see what exactly.
But you know what? Exactly. I also think it has a lot to do
I love traveling.
With the internet. I think it has a lot to do with the internet too, though, because over time who was taking that chance of getting on the subway, catching a cab in a country that they don't speak English, and then trying to find something to eat, and then you don't even have the local currency. It's like so many things. But now you have your cars, or you have Apple Pay, and you have Uber, and you have these things.
They got Uber in other countries.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you don't feel like trapped into your hotel anymore.
That's true.
Kind of shake moves, and that's why I call it like the blessing and curse of the internet. That's like a blessing to kind of have, but then when we shift over to the internet, so I'm sure you see these amazing musicians, probably from the age of 8, playing all types of instruments, like little Aaron that plays bass, and it's just like, okay,
Aaron, Baby Boy drummer. I know. Yes, all of them.
All these little internet sensations, and it's just like, it's amazing. And I think I want people to understand, as much as you get that limelight of being an amazing musician, you can also take that same internet presence and use it wrong. And that's what I kind of hate to see sometimes, when people like put out very unpolished, unmixed, these clips that are just like, I get what you were going for, but the internet, and now this is where we talk about the curses of the internet. It's a digital resume. That's what it is, Right. And it clicked in my mind going to different jam sessions where it's like, hey, bro, you want to sit in? I'm like, I could potentially sit in and we might be all killing, or I could sit in and we gonna all sound terrible. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Picking and choosing what you
listen. I don't even do it.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't even do it. I don't even do the sit-ins. I mean, management will be just, okay, well, who are the musicians? Who's going to be a part of this sort of thing? Because sometimes some of those musicians they don't have ears.
Yeah.
Some musicians don't have ears. So if we're playing this in this particular key. There might be a keyboardist that ain't over the internet, and it just sounds like one big mess.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, well, Nik West was a part of this, and then that travels. That travels faster than the good stuff. So I have to be careful with just want to join in with musicians, but if I know it's going to be recorded and all that stuff, I have to
Well,
let me listen first to the band.
The unfortunate part about it being recorded is this. It's this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even, like, it could be North Sea Jazz Festival you sitting in with 10 cameras, or it could be somebody's little jam session in the middle of a hood, and it's just like they got the cell phones out. Either way, they get the same amount of views. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm glad you see it that way, because I thought I was crazy. Because I was always, people be like, yo, you sure you don't want to sit in? I'm like, bro, listen, we might all go down in flames.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like I have to pick and choose. I'm serious. I'm just like, not this time. Next time.
Maybe next time.
But no, I feel you on that.
Well, before
maybe
we
next
get
time,
out of,
right?
It's not. It's really a gamble, and a lot of people don't see it as that, but it's really a gamble. But before we get out of here, tell the people everything they should be looking for, and everything that you got coming out. And actually, I got one question. What's your favorite show memory? Favorite live show memory of all time? I know it's hard. I know this is a very hard question. I know.
I guess this is a favorite and a most embarrassing at the same time, which is weird.
What's crazy is I'll take that, because that was the second question. My keyboard
player, Cliff. You might know her, Cliff. It's the same for me. I was in Spain, and there were like thousands of people in the audience, and we're doing our thing or whatever, and the keyboard player, like his stand, like his keyboard, like completely like tumbled over. Like I'm walking over to him, like playing, doing this and everything with the bass, and his keyboard literally just like, I don't know if it was the stand that just like
collapsed,
fell, like went flat or whatever, but it literally like went down, and he's still playing as the keyboard is going down, like the keyboard's like falling over, and he's like playing the keyboard, it's falling over. I'm over there like doing this, and he's still playing as it's going down, and the stage people are like running, trying to like lift the whole thing back up and screwing everything, and he's still playing, and I'm still going, and I'm still singing like this is not happening. Like it's not happening. And the crazy thing is, okay, so these things happen. Yeah. But then when it's on video and it gets played over and over and over again, it's just kind of like Nik was literally, people were saying Nik was literally acting like this was not happening at all. Because I was just like,
that's like
doing my thing, like singing, doing my thing, and the keyboard's just like tumbling to the ground, and he's still playing it, like lifting it up and still playing the keyboard.
That's a shout out. That's shout out to him, but that's shout out to you too, because you'll be surprised how many people will be like, "Hey, someone go fix this. We gotta fix." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kudos to both of you guys because of that.
I didn't know what to do. Yeah. I didn't know what to do, so I just kept going. But I've had a lot of embarrassing, crazy moments on stage because I'm really wild. Mm-hmm. So I'm the girl that's like, I'm jumping up, I'm doing a split, I'm getting on my back and spinning around and doing crazy stuff. And the band's just like, okay, I don't know what she's going to do. Mm-hmm. So if she falls, like we were in Germany last year and I had the bass, I was jumping up and I actually tripped. So I actually fell and like landed on my back. Mm-hmm. And then I kept playing, and then I just laid on my back and started like spinning around. Yeah. Like that was part of it. But the band was like they kept singing or whatever. And that time I had a new vocalist in the band, and she's just like, I didn't know what to do, like, because I literally I fell. Mm-hmm. Like I probably hurt myself, but I just kept going. Yeah. And so the band was like, okay, she's crazy. We just gonna let her do that. If she falls, just let her fall. Let her do her thing. But the audience didn't know. They thought it was part of the show.
That's called real rock star. Hey, round of applause for real rock stars. That's real rock star right there. A lot of people are just my neck and my back.
but it's like for me, I'm an Aquarius, so I'm a wild, free spirit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, it's either that, play it off, or be embarrassed. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to be embarrassed, so I have to play it off.
yeah.
I just have to play it off.
And it's kind of like that adrenaline. I'm sure that adrenaline just like
all of that.
keep
All
pushing
of that.
through. Like, now, I don't know if you had to take a warm bath.
Always. Yes.
That warm bath, you just got to soak it off. Like, woo, I don't know what I was thinking.
Always. And I'm not thinking on stage. I'm just like, I'm just going to do it. I just do it.
Right.
But, yeah, but coming up, I am, like I said, releasing these lesson-based lesson videos, a whole curriculum for it.
Get your lessons, people. I always wanted to play bass.
Get your lessons. I
always wanted to play bass. I thought I was gonna like learn how to play bass at some point in life, but I settled for playing synth bass, which is cool.
Hey, that is cool.
But I think I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get me a little 4-string or something. Get me some of those lessons.
Well, you gotta teach me how to play synth bass like correctly. Yes, I'm a bass player, but like, what is the exact, like, what's the best instrument to really, really, really get in on that to where it sounds close enough to a bass? Because I got a gig playing synth bass. They asked me if I played keys, and I was like, for me, it's like, well, a little bit, but bass is my main instrument, bass and guitar. But it was Michael Bearden, music director.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, do you know how to play synth? And I was like, yes. Yes. And so I got the gig, and it didn't even require me to play synth. So I just say yes to everything, even if I don't know how. So coming up, man's gonna teach me how to play synth, and I'm gonna teach him how to play bass.
Y'all see it right here. Y'all see
That's
it.
What we doing. That's what we doing.
What's crazy is, so I grew up playing drums, and then I kind of started playing keys.
Ooh,
and kind of growing up playing in church, sometimes the budget was the budget. Like you didn't like having a bass player, which means you probably didn't have a second keyboard player or a guitar player.
Right.
Or if you had a drummer and an organist, it was just those different things.
Drummer and an organist, that was
exactly.
it. Yep.
So I started being that person where it was like, all right, an organist, I was playing keys and synth bass, and then we had a drummer, and it still sounded pretty full like that. You know?
That's church.
And that's church. So then fast forward, one of my first gigs was playing Guy in Blackstreet with Teddy, right? So Teddy is like a stickler for synth bass. When you hold notes, when you bounce, when you slide, like it was just like that whole thing. So I kind of like, it was like a synth bass school almost working with him. So it's a couple of synth bass killers out there that's just like, okay, all right. It's like technique, and it's kind of like with as a bass player, it's like where you want to play on the frets, depending on when you drop out, drop in, alternate. The slides. Whether you sliding up, whether you sliding down, like
look at you,
as an MD, I'm a stickler for every part of the music. Like to even like shout out to my drummer Rashid Williams. He plays with me with John over 10 years. He's the person like when I put the shows together, it's like, hey bro, we need the snare to sound like this. Like I'm a stickler for how the snares are tuned.
You got those good ears.
I go like sometimes I'll go to Zildjian with him and like, nah, that can't be the main crash for this tour. We need something.
You a good MD.
Oh yeah, because the thing about it is people program or arrange shows, and you put these claps in the track, and the frequency of the snare doesn't meet where the clap is, and it's kind of like it's like a weird frequency thing. I'm just like really weird like that because it's like how I hear it. Even like if we were to get like a new front of house engineer or whatever, like I'm gonna get a multi-track of the show. I'm gonna mix it. Yes. This is what I want to hear at front of house. This is what front of house should sound like.
See, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
But I started in the industry as a drum tech and stage manager.
Really?
So I learned the whole industry backwards.
Wow.
So now as an MD, now I can foresee any issues. And so prepping a tour, it's like I prep backwards. So I'm going from lights, video, stage plot. I'm going from that way, inputs. Then we go into building our rigs, and
that's really smart.
We have on stage, and that whole type of theory. So it kind of makes it all make sense in my mind. Okay. So we kind of have like a bulletproof structure that way.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
And growing up in church, we didn't have sex. We didn't have any.
Right.
Either A, appreciate it, or B, even work with one. You know, it's
Right.
not your maid. It's not that's your partner in work, you know? So,
Right.
and I'm sure you have a tech that you love. They know exactly how high your string's supposed to sit, knowing what the tension should be,
Yes.
knowing what all
And
your
that's very important, because if my tone is not right, I can't play.
Exactly.
Like my ear, it has to be right.
Exactly. And that's just the whole and that's my thing. It's like quarterbacking a game. It's like, yo, I'm in the talk back like, yo, them lights ain't go off in the right time. Or like, yo, it's too dark. We can't see. We can't see. I can't see where I'm starting at. What are we doing? But
I love it.
Yeah, it's been such a vibe. So back to what we were talking about you in the bass lessons, in the bass videos, because we just took a whole spin. But pick back up. You got the bass lessons coming out. What else we doing?
Right. I got the bass lessons coming out. I got a bunch of workshops coming out where actually me and my management team, we're talking about doing what I do. And, new music. I got new music coming out. Lots of interesting things coming out.
Yeah, dope.
And a collaboration with Man. That's
Hello, Nick, Man collaboration. That's what I think the people want that. That's what I think the people want. I could be wrong. But
let's make it happen.
We'll make it happen. Well,
let's make it happen.
Thank you for your time. We're going to do a part B of this later on once I get my lessons and once
yes.
you know what I'm saying. Then we can talk about how my placements. I think this is going to be crazy. I'm fast forwarding like 15 lessons in. I want to learn harmonics. I think that's the
harmonics.
Thing.
Ding, 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 ding.
That is the coolest thing to me. I don't know why.
Because when you mean ding 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 ding.
Yes.
On the bass?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Harmonics or harmony. Okay, yes.
No,
harmonics. It is. You have your harmonic. Okay, we talk about it 15 lessons in. How about that? We'll talk about it.
Because I am jumping ahead of the game, right? As a student, right? I'm like, I don't want to learn my skills yet. I want to learn how to.
And it's and that's the thing. So you probably know who Jaco Pastorius is.
Of course.
If you're talking about harmonics and everything, of course. He was like the king. He was like the king of doing that. And most bass players, they'll play down at the 12th fret. They'll play at certain frets to get those harmonics. But you can get those harmonics anywhere on
exactly.
Bass. It's just the touch. And most people don't know that you can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the technique with the left and the right hand in order to make sure to get that. So
I'm a huge. I'm a bass. To not be a bass player, I'm like a bass connoisseur. Just because I play keys and it's like real different. Like I don't know. I'm just into bass players. I don't know. It's just pretty cool. A lot of my friends are either drummers or bass players. It's the craziest thing.
But you're a drummer at heart, though.
I am a drummer at heart. But
Prince would say, he would tell the drummers, he's like, oh, you're a drummer? You want to learn how to play bass? You are a bass player. Drummers are bass players. You are playing grooves. You just not playing the notes. So if you just figure out what to do with your hands on the bass, the technique, those are the best bass players or drummers.
What's something he told you?
He told me a lot of things. But I'll say this, because we were talking about, Stanley Clarke and other legends just kind of saying, oh yeah, we want to work with you. He told me, because I was terrified when I first met him. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know what? There's nobody else like you. Like, you do what you do. I don't need you to be Larry Graham. I don't need you to be Stanley or Marcus. I need you to be Nik West. Like, you are who you are. Mm-hmm. Be you 100% and own that. And he said, now, if there's something that you trying to do and you're not the best at it, you don't need to be doing it.
Yeah, it's somebody else.
Only do the thing that nobody else can beat you at doing. That's what you do. And I figured out what that was. I can't say, oh man, I'm the best bass player. Oh man, I'm the best singer. Or oh man, I'm the best songwriter. Mm-hmm. But I put all that stuff together, as well as my gymnastic skills and all of my skills, that I put it all together with the crazy looks and the superhero thing. Nobody can do that like I can do it.
Fact.
So he taught me that. He also taught me, when you're meeting these so-called legends, he says, he's like, you call us legends, but just know, like, when you walk into a room, we're all at the same level. Like, we're all human. We're all at the same level. He's like, some of us got more fans and some of us have more money. Some of us got more fame, but we're at the same level. We've been doing this a little bit longer, but you and me, we're both at the same level.
Right.
So I was like, what? Like, it was crazy to me. So sometimes I have to think about that, when I'm walking into a room with like vocalists that I love, like Lettucey, for instance, she's like, oh my God, Nick, I love you. And I have to kind of remember what Prince said. Okay, we're on the same level, treat them like you would treat your sister. Right. You don't have to treat them like they're God. Mm-hmm. Treat them like you would treat your family, because that's what they want. So, I learned a lot from him.
We rehearsed for a tour at Paisley Park one time, and this was like 2008, 2009, and he kind of like peeked in, like it was just like so funny.
Right, that's probably what he did. Like,
so the engineer told us, like, hey, Prince just peeked in the room. We all going crazy, like, act normal, act normal, act normal, act normal.
That's normal. He will do that. And
it was kind of crazy. Our old tour manager was David 51 Norman, and he used to be Prince's tour manager for a while. Mm-hmm. So he became our tour manager with John Legend, and he was just like, well, we're starting in Minneapolis. We should just rehearse
at Paisley Park.
We should go to Paisley Park. And everybody's like, how are we going to get Paisley Park? It's like, I'll make a call. That's easy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I got this.
The people that say, I'll make a call, that's easy, those are the people you got to be friends with. I'm just saying, like, that's just what it is. But, oh, my God. Yeah, that, I totally, like, me growing up, like, that was my thought process. Like, I'm not Chick Corea. I'm not Herbie. Like, I am who I am.
Right.
I want to play how I play. Yes. And that's how I operate,
Right.
And that's always just been my mentality. And that stopped me from ever, like, feeling a level of being discouraged or feeling like I have to compare myself. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not you that really are comparing yourself to someone. It's someone else comparing you. And it's the chatter that makes you feel.
Listen, I'm telling you, that's the thing. Right. That's what it is. And look, okay, you have literally just tapped into the key of success in this industry or any industry. That is the key of success right there. Not comparing yourself and not listening to the chatter. Because especially being a female bass player, there's only a few of us. Right. So these guys will be comparing, oh, well, this one's better than this one and this one's better than this one. And I'm like, first of all, you know what? Let's just collaborate. Yeah. Hey, you, and you. Let's collaborate so all the chatter stops. So collaboration is your friend, number one. And don't compare yourself to nobody. Like, if I was trying to be Marcus, I would be discouraged and I probably wouldn't be doing half of what I'm doing. Right. Because I'm trying to be like him. Yeah. I can't play like him. So I'm just.
You don't want to be Marquisha?
Marquisha Miller.
Marquisha Miller.
I gotta send this to him.
That is funny.
I gotta send this to him. But no, that is the key right there. Yeah, that's the key right there.
Yeah. That's the key. And I think that's cool. Like you said, like not comparing yourself.
Yep.
Favor ain't fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, all of those are major principles that just keeps your mind together, Like, even through the pandemic, like, a lot of people are just like, for some strange reason, people have this thought process of like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up, bro? Hey, man, I know I guess you're not busy right now because I'm at home. I'm like, bruh, opposite. I'm busy right now. What do we, like, what? I got, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm gonna kind of close on this point. If you haven't been doing anything within the last 4 months, you A, haven't rebuilt relationships, B, made any new relationships, or C, rekindled any relationships. Straight up. Because without the relationships, like, you're not going to have the open level of communication. You're not going to have anything. Even if you're a fan of somebody, just like, hey, what's up, fam? Just dropping a line. Hope all is well. Hopefully one day we can link or whatever. Like, people do that. So, you know, again, it's going to be a tough ball when this is all over, you know. I call it when the floodgates open and the world is back to normal, we'll see what happens.
Open the floodgates. You know, who did that song? Paul Morton?
Yep, open the floodgates of heaven.
Open the floodgates. Right, my dad used to play that song over and over and over again. That's
shout out to Bishop Paul Morton. Shout out to PJ Morton.
PJ, he just did his gospel album. I'm like,
that gospel album is so
waiting on this.
You know what's crazy though? A lot of people didn't know he wrote a lot of those songs. So a lot of people are like, oh, that's a cover. No, that's his song. First of all, that he let someone else record, like, you know, like that type of thing. But I mean, that's probably like the best collaboration album I've heard in a long time, because he got all the heavy hitters.
Amazing.
Shout out to PJ Morton again. Hey, y'all, get that gospel album.
Shout out to PJ Morton. Look, we gonna work together too, because I've been listening to your daddy since I was a little, you know. So I was waiting on that gospel. When he said, yeah, I'm doing a gospel album, I was like, this is what we've been waiting on too. Like, But that goes right there. You know, a lot of people think, oh, no, that person wouldn't collaborate with that person. Or there's no way this person can do this and that. But you know what they don't have? Relationships. Because when you go relationships, it's pieces of the puzzle that come together that you would never think would come together. Where it's just like, how are you friends with this person? Exactly.
How are you doing this? Or how are you, like, you know, it just it just happens. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. And then when you're a good person and you're like, honestly a good person and your intentions are pure, when you meet someone else or you introduce someone to someone else, those intentions should all align, you know? So even with this, they were like, yo, it would be dope if you got on with Nick and you guys, I was just like, yes. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's always a vibe, because like some of these things could be weird. Let's be honest. They really can be weird. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely right.
But I'm getting some bass lessons out of this. You gonna get some.
I'm getting some synth lessons out of this.
You know what I'm saying? And we and we gonna do this. But we get ready to get out of here, people. We gonna get out of here. We gonna do a part B. We gonna showcase some music. We gonna do some things, and maybe somebody will win a bass lesson. Maybe
you know.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe
I got you.
We'll rap or something. They gotta. I don't know. We'll do some trivia. We'll figure something out for the people.
I got you. Whatever you need.
All right. Well, thank you. And we're going to pick this back up, and we connected. We locked in, and we're going to do something. We're going to do lessons. Do some music. That's what we're going to do.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
And we out of here.
All right.
What can we say? Living legend. I told you guys. Shout out to my sis Nik West again. I want to shout out Roland Live Studios. I want to shout out Roland. Who we got? We got Joel. We got Nelly. We got Kristen. We got Brian. We got Igor. We got who else? We got Carrie Brown. We got Josie. We got. Shout out to everybody rolling live and rolling, because I can keep going and going and going. So before we get out of here, I got another surprise next week and the week after that and the week after that. But I want you to surprise me. Surprise me with what you got going on at home with hashtag Roland at home. So take all your content, make sure you hashtag that so we can find you and follow you and share your stuff on our platforms. Until then, I'm out. Eugene Man Roberts, aka the Mayor, and this has been 808s While You Wait, Town Hall Meeting with the Mayor. Oh yeah, shout out to my shirt. Shout out to my shirt. Pleasures by Roland.